city in varchar. Obviously it's going to be declare some in varchar. I'm just defining the city. Okay, has select star from the customer where the city is city. Okay, so if I give a pass this, I need to execute a particular city from the customer's table. So I will just type @city is equal to London, or @city is equal to India, @city is equal to Hyderabad. So like that I will get all the customer details without writing the SQL like select star from customers where like this procedure. So this is very simple. No need to write all the statement at a time. If you have a big long query, suppose you have a some 10 lines of the query, you don't want to write this one. You have to be pass your whatever the information with regarding the different columns you have, just pass it through the recipe. Then it's going to fetch up that values. You can also see we are going to play around with the different columns you are going to be handled out in the database. City having nvarchar, and I'm also using the postal code nvarchar. Okay, so creating the procedure with corresponding to select all the customers, select start from the where the city name is city and the postal code is the postal code. Then just execute that corresponding to the value information you want to be retrieved. That's it. Simple and straightforward. Once you get some idea theoretically, you will be end up with the syntax. The syntax is basically tells about how to utilize. That's it. If you utilize the syntax in such a way, that is a very basic sense to understand the procedures. Storage processors. So storage processors are very useful in the real world industry and the IT industry also. So many people are trying to use by using the whatever they saved information. They have saved information. So once you understood how does that going to be helpful, they have already saved the information. This is very straightforward stuff. So we'll go and see we'll go and see other concept with respect to the index also. So index is very basic kind of the you can say the basic kind of the nature to understand in the SQL to retrieve any kind of the information. So basically indexes tells about to retrieve any kind of the data from the database. If you want to be quickly understood about which column it is, okay, which column it is, where it's going to be present, that's how you can directly fetch by using index. Something you have to be know something called as a hash tables. So I will explain the intuition of the hash table. How does that going to be works out in the real world also? So you have a hash table, something called as a hash tables. In the DSA concepts, if you maybe probably learn if you're coming from the CS background. So hash tables does with having key and value pairs. Key and value pairs. So what exactly the key and value pairs is? If suppose I have a value with corresponding to key 1 and key 3, key 4. Corresponding to that, I have a value for 1 is 100 and 3 is 200 and 4 is 1000. What if I'm going to call key 3. If I call key 3, it will go and be give the value corresponding to the key 3, right? So it will go and fetch the corresponding value to the key 3, right? So this simple operation is going to be works out with corresponding to this. So 200 will going to be print at this time. If I write the select start from the query where the key is equal to 3. Similarly, the concept of index is in the SQL, we're going to be retrieve the data information by using index. That's it. So how to create and what are the different operations we are going to handle? Let's see in these examples. So creating the index is very straightforward. Create index name. Okay, you have to pass the index name on top of the table names. That's it. So create the unique index. The basic unique index is going to be helpful. Duplicating some of the records are not allowed. Okay. Suppose I have a records for this. Let's take this record having again one. Okay. So this record having again one. So it may not be allowed for unique index. Unique index. So you have to be specifically mentioned whenever you require duplications may not be come together. At the time you may be probably learn with the unique index. So let's create the index and try to understand create the index is and creating the index name idx last name on top of the table name last name, right? So if you want to create the index combination of the columns, you can list the columns name within the parentheses. You can also separate by the commas. So this eventually works out well with corresponding to the last name and also the first name. And dropping of the index straightforward by using the drop syntax, drop index name on top of the table. That's it. So will this is very straightforward stuff. If you understood the concept how to utilizing the hash tables, how to utilizing your hash tables corresponding to the index in the SQL, this is very straightforward stuff. So I have understood. Let's wrap up this class and then we can meet into the next class to discuss the other details. Thank you.